There's always been savings going electric.
But it hasn't always been so front of mind to drivers when gas is affordable. Jeremy Bernardin is a salesman at All EV Canada in Halifax. He says when gas prices shot up in early March of 2022, so did interest in EVs.
We're seeing a lot more people become aware of the savings that you get from driving an electric vehicle, and these gas prices are painful for everyone, right? It's getting very expensive to get to and from work, and going electric, there's some really significant savings.
Thomas Arneson McNeil says demand for electric vehicles isn't a problem in Nova Scotia, but supply is.
There's a critical supply shortage of electric vehicles in Nova Scotia. 1 in 10 dealerships have an electric vehicle on lot, and wait times can go up to 8 months.
So, why is that? In provinces like Quebec and BC, there are regulations in place that require auto manufacturers by law to sell a certain percentage of electric vehicles every year.
We don't right now have a policy like that that's implemented in Nova Scotia. So when electric vehicles come into the country, oftentimes they get redirected to those 2 provinces.
That means BC and Quebec get first dibs.
They're going to send them to provinces where they're required by law to sell a certain amount, and then we get the rest after they've fulfilled their legal obligation.
A zero-emissions vehicle supply mandate was passed in Nova Scotia in November of 2021, which would see 30% of new vehicle sales become electric by 2030. It just hasn't been implemented.
One of the challenges that there's been is that the federal government has said, okay, this is a huge problem, in many places across the country, so we're going to do a federal sales mandate. But the thing is, that's slated for 2024.
To avoid having to implement 2 policies and overlap with the feds, the provincial government could just wait it out until 2024. With transportation being the second largest source of greenhouse gas emissions in the country, Arneson McNeil thinks it should be implemented sooner rather than later.
At a certain point, we're going to need to address emissions from passenger vehicles. And the way to do that is on the quickest possible timeline, get folks driving electric vehicles. Now what you need at the same time is, to make cities walkable, to make cities bikeable, to give people better access to clean transit.
Back at All EV Canada, Bernardin says the savings you get on fuel makes EVs easy to market.
You can expect your electricity bill to increase by $30 to $60 a month, depending how much you drive.
Arneson McNeil thinks manufacturers need to move faster.
I think that there's hesitancy on the part of auto manufacturers in particular. The best case scenario for them is to proceed at the slowest possible timeline. But what we're saying is that, we're in a climate emergency right now. People can see the impacts of climate change every day. People are starting to notice changes in the weather. And so, we think that this needs to happen really faster than some dealerships and some auto manufacturers might want it to happen.